Hello and welcome. My name is Kenny Toe. I'm a TRIRIGA UX developer, and today we will be going over the new UX components in the TRIRIGA 3.6.0 platform. There will be 5 components to cover today. First is the triblock-scroll-field-into-view-behavior, followed by the triblock-toast, triplat-accessibility, triplat-document, and triplat-zoom-slider. For each component, each section, we'll go over what each component is, what it does. I'll show you the functionality, and then I'll explain why do we need this component and when do you actually need to use it. And then I'll go over how to use it with some sample code, and finally I'll present a live demo of it in action. Let's start with our first component, the triblock-scroll-field-into-view-behavior. This component allows fields to scroll into view on a focus event when you're on an Android device. So it allows space for the on-screen keyboard to display and display the paper input at the same time. And naturally, iOS has this built-in scroll into view, so this mainly is just for Android, pertaining to Android. Now let me show you what I mean. So in this example, we have a page. It's a draft work task page and has quite a number of fields that you have to fill in. Notice at the bottom we have a description field, right? Naturally, if you tap on it, the on-screen keyboard will come up on the right, as you can see here. And what it does is, once it detects the focus events, it will scroll the page up, and you can see that the description field here has been shifted up from the bottom to the middle section here of the page. So that way you're allowed room to type, use the on-screen keyboard to type, as well as see what you're typing in the field itself. And how do you implement this? Of course you would add the try scroll into view property to the paper input field. It could be paper input, paper text area, or text area type of component. And you would also make sure that you want to import the behavior try block scroll and field into view behavior to the host component as shown here. Let's take a look at it in action. So I have this T-Tech demo app. On this page, imagine there's a bunch of content, as we've seen some before, on the very top here, and the paper inputs on the bottom. If you tap on the paper input, you can see that the on-screen keyboard comes up and it overlays the component. So it makes it hard for us to see what we're typing in. But let's take a look at the code here. So we have this is the code for that page. And you can see there's a div here, paper inputs right here. I added the try scroll into view. I put an X there so it won't take effect. So now that I remove it, it should be effective now. And also I have the behavior here, try block scroll field into view behavior. So that satisfies all the requirements. Let me refresh this page. And now I should be able to tap on the input field and it automatically scrolls up. So you can see exactly what you are typing. And it is not going to be covered by the on-screen keyboard. We will take a look at the triblock-toast component. This component provides a toast box with a message. Now you're probably wondering, why do we need a component when we already have the paper toast? Well, this triblock component predefines several color themes and icon based on the type. So as you can see here that we have an example of XSS type, which is, has a green green kind of color theme with a check mark icon. We also have a error type, which has, that kind of reddish pink color theme with the X icon. So we have several pre-configured types that will make it convenient for you to use. As you can see here, this is the code that's needed. You can set the type which is I mentioned earlier, which I'll explain the different types that are involved. The title, which is going to be displayed here, as you can see at the very top. The actual text message that will be shown below, and how long this message uh, will stay up. So you can see this is in 10,000, which is in 10 seconds because it's in milliseconds. And you can see here these are the type of the properties, and under type you have the several options. You have XSS type, warning, major warning, error, and info. And we have two methods. One method is to close the toast box, and the other method is to open the toast box. And let me show you a live demo. So we have the TTech demo here again, and let's go to the toast page. And you can see here there's several buttons here. So if I click on the success, let me maybe increase the zoom here. Success, you'll see a toast on the bottom left success message here. You click on the warning, and the warning message, toast message will pop up. You can see it's a different color. Major warning. Oh no, something catastrophic occurred. Really red. This is also red as well, different icon. An error occurred. And information on messages can be shown here as well. And let's take a look at the code. So you can see here I have the buttons here, and they fire a each one fires a different function. And you can see here I set the type, title, and text. That type of bind it to the triblock-toast component here, type, title, and text. And I set it to 3000 milliseconds. So this stays up for 3 seconds. Next, let's take a look at the triplat-accessibility-behavior component. This component is used to improve the accessibility of elements. We provide a set of functions, common functions that can be used to set our requirements for you dynamically. Sometimes we are basically writing JavaScript applications, base applications, and the property could change dynamically, so this will assist with that. And you can see here there's two functions. First one is set aria live container. So this is mainly used to set the live area for screen readers, assistive technologies, so that they can be announce different values dynamically based on the page changing. The second one is set aria property. So this is used to set the aria property dynamically. As you can see here, we're setting the property, we're defining the property and the value that the property, and then the value that's going to be set here. You can see the documentation here for that, for the aria live container, and set aria property. So mainly you would set the value, the property, and the element. And let's take a look at what it looks like on the page when it's rendered. So it's really a little bit difficult to actually show the functionality because it's all accessibility. I don't actually have the screen reader, but I can show you. For example, if I open in work task, this is the work task services app, and if I open the work task detail, as you can see here, we use the set aria property on the hold button. So you can, if I click on and expect the hold button and go to the accessibility tab in Chrome Developer Tools, you can see here that the expanded property is set to false. Once I click on the hold button, you can see that it changed to true. So this is the function being used, and it's dynamically setting the expanded property here, and in this case setting it from false to true. And if I close it, it will change to false. And let's take a look at the code real quick. So here, as I mentioned earlier, you would import the behavior, triplat-accessibility-behavior. And in here, as you see, as it observes the drop down, and then when it's set to open, and you can see here that we're using the set aria property, setting it to the hold button, the value that we're setting it to, and the property which is expanded. Now let's take a look at the triplat document component. This component element is used for downloading documents from the document manager. So if you have a record that has associated documents, you can use this to display those documents on your UX application. So this is an example of what it looks like. So you can see here that it has right here is an example of showing what is one document, and you can see here this is the link to download that document. It shows a little icon. We use the file name, document file name, to determine the icon. So if it's a PDF, it will show a PDF icon, and it shows you here the name of that document. And this is an example of how the code would look like. So you can see here this is being wrapped by a template that has with a template with documents, and each triplat document download takes the ID, the name, the file name, and it uses, of course, I mentioned earlier, it uses this file name to determine the icon for the document. Let's take a look at how it looks like when it's working. So again, we're back here in the Work Task Services app in my demo task work task. So let's take a look at the procedures. Let's open a procedure. So in this procedure detail, you can see there is some detail here, some procedure steps. But what we're interested in is the related documents. So if you click here, you can see that there are 3 documents related here. You can see these are the Excel spreadsheet, CSI level 3 codes. If I click on this, it will try to download that document. Same here with the PDF version, lead CI checklist example here. It's a PDF, so if I click on it, it will prompt me for downloading. And let's take a look at the code. So here, you can see here, similar to what I showed earlier in the PowerPoint, it takes a document ID, name, file name, and then we're feeding it a list of documents for the procedures here. And last but not least, we have the triplat-zoom-slider component. This custom element allows the user to select from a range of values using a slider or pressing the increase and decrease icons on the side. So you can see here, there's a slider here. At the bottom of the floor plan. We'll show you a live demo of it later, how it looks like. And you can slide it left and right. And then you have the decrease and increase buttons here. We mainly, for example, you would use this in a zoom slider for a triplat graphic zoomable. You could use it in other applications as well, but this is for example of how we would use it. So you can see in this example here, in this triplat zoom slider, you can define the min, max, and how much what the step is and how much it increases. And we bind a value to it, and we tie it to the same value for the triplat graphic zoomable as seen here. So let's take a look at how it works live. So we're back here at the Work Task Services app at demo test work task detail. And if I go to locations and open a location, so you can see here that we opened a location and the floor plan showed that the slider is on the bottom. As you can see here that there are 2 buttons here, right? This is the decrease zoom out button. This is the zoom in button, and we can also slide it back and forth. This is works with gestures as well, sliding. And of course, this is in addition to the normal zoom in and zoom out, where you can use the trackpad or the mouse to use the wheel on the mouse or slide up, slide down on the trackpad to zoom in and zoom out, respectively. And you can see here, yep, these are the values here. And let's take a look at the code. Uh, So you can see that this is very similar to what I showed earlier. So we're using the triplat zoom slider here, and it is binded to the same zoom scale property that's being used via the triplat graphic zoomable, and it's a plugin that's being used under triplat graphic. And that is the last component. Uh, and here are of course, please refer to our UX component docs for all the component and information around all the components. It contains a lot of information about the components, the properties, function methods, styles, mixins. So please refer to that. If you have any additional questions, please go to our Slack, beta Slack, IBM TRIRIGA beta.slack.com under the UX framework channel. Uh, please post any questions, comments there as well. We will monitor that. So we'll gladly respond as soon as possible if you have anything, any questions. So hope you enjoyed the presentation. My name is Kenny Toe. Have a nice day.